Can everyone please put their hands together like this? Who's from Zimbabwe? Yeah, so you get it.
Stories have been told on this land for many, 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 many years before many of us came here. We are on the land of one of the oldest, longest surviving cultures in the world, and that is something phenomenal. It's something to be respected. Telling stories on Australian land, on Wurundjeri land, land of the Kulin Nations, must also be respected in that sense. So what we're doing is actually something that my mother, my grandmother taught me to do whenever I entered into somebody's home or I was approaching, was to ask, please may I enter? Please may I enter? And also before you speak, to say, please may I speak? Because life doesn't end, it just simply transitions. The ancestors are always with us, and let's always pay respect. This poem honors my grandfather, who I never met. He passed away before I was born, but he was a gangster. When he had 3 young children, he went up to the owner of the farm where he was working. And this farm was actually, from what I can gather, the land of his ancestors that had then been turned into commercial farms. And so he said to his new boss, if I can have it, say, oh, I need a pay rise. My kids need to go to school. And the boss was like, no, you're a troublemaker. We're going to put you out. And you're going to have to go and live on the reserve called Zeva. So they sent him off with his children. He didn't have any farm tools, nothing that he could use. So he decided he had to make a plan, and he went to South Africa. And he worked in the mines during the day, and he cooked for the colonial officers at night. And he earned enough money to go back home with his farm tools. And he tilled that land, and he reaped his harvest, and then eventually him and my grandmother bought their own farm. This is for the gangsters. The conversation is always the same, you know, the conversation, well, it's always the same, and really it's about my respect for his hard work, because you see, hard work put food on the table and a roof over my head. So it puzzles him when this expensively educated law school graduate of a daughter announces that she's going to support the family by writing books. He clears his throat. Fingers toy nervously with the cork in hand, and he rotates it over and over and over again. You see, his father, dying, came to visit him when he too was full of dreams and spoke about blood and responsibility, about generations gone down in gold mines and on plantation fields, of my grandmother planting peanuts every year in substandard soil, just so children could go to school and never, ever, ever have to toil. They were the colonized generation, he said. They were the ones who had to endure. So, are you a lawyer yet? The conversation is always the same. You see, the conversation, it's just always the same. we'll have this conversation, I suspect, every single year for the next 1,000 years. So when I wrote that particular piece, I was trying to express how important it is for us to actually tell stories and to have respect for the storytellers amongst us. Because I honestly feel that changing the narrative is really, really important. It's an integral part of this next phase of our liberation as people, just as individuals, to be who we want to be. My grandfather was a man who did his best to make sure that his children understood and knew their culture. But he was also really, really, really a passionate and hard-working man when it came to sending all of his children to school, to making sure that they had professional degrees. And so there was room for both. Now, I want to sing a song that my mother taught me. I'm going to take a sip of water. Because in everything that we do, even as we go off on our own paths in life and carve out our own path, sometimes it may not be, what was originally in the design, the grand design. And a lot of us are migrants, and we're finding that what we're doing may not have been in the grand design. We have to pay respect to where we came from at all times. So this is a song that my mother taught me when I was like 6. What would happen is she would pick us up from school, and we'd listen to the top 20 on Radio 3, and we'd sing all the songs together. Some of my favorite memories was like just cruising along in her red Volvo, singing like pop songs. And then when that ended, we turned off the radio, and then she started teaching us some songs that she learned as a young woman growing up in a family with like 10 kids. My grandparents had enough children to have their own choir, literally. No, I'm serious. And they still used to sing. It was one of the most embarrassing things for me growing up was how they would break out in song, like at weddings and start singing. Do you guys have that experience? Yeah, anyway. But this is a song that's really important. Rimwe zuwa ndirindeka ndichifunga zvangu ndiani waindiera ndichiri kadiki ndivo mai vangu chete rudo rovo rwakakosha amwe osena baba nasindova tena. So the words, shall I interpret that for you, or do you just want me to leave it there? Oh, okay, you need the interpretation. So we all know about the politics of interpretation, right? And translation gets a bit shaky, wonky, so I'll do my best so you get the full vibe. So one day, when I was just sitting by myself, just having, a little bit of thinking time, meditating. Who is it who raised me? Who was that looked after me when I was still like a young little child? It's my mother. Her love is invaluable, important, is the most valuable thing, precious. So together today with her and my father, today I thank them, right? So we have to thank our ancestors, gangster grandfathers. Without whose sacrifice, I literally would not be standing here in front of you today, highly educated, telling stories with all the complexity of who I am. I mean, that's my passion, that's my mission in life, is to bring three-dimensional, nuanced, complex stories about African people to life. And that's my mission. And I do that because I studied international development, and it just didn't, international relations and law, and it just didn't cut it for me. What I was reading in those textbooks did not cut it for me. So I know that there are a lot of young people of African descent who are at uni and they're really struggling to get through. It's one part of the knowledge that you need to have. Don't forget the other knowledge from home, you know? And don't forget to turn into yourself as well and understand yourself as a full, three-dimensional person to write your story. It's so important to write your story, to tell all those stories, to share those stories. Because it's amazing how many people can actually connect to that story of my grandfather. You know, even now, in 2017, something that happened in 1930 something, whatever, right? People can still connect with that. A lot of young people are struggling right now, you know, because the world is changing, careers are changing, professions are changing. OzAfricanTV is here because of the internet, right? OzAfricanTV is here because of the internet. That's made that possible, and with it we've got social media managers, you know, we've got creative producers, we've got event managers, we've got all sorts of professions that are coming out of that. So I just want to say, while I'm here, thank you so much to Dorcas for all the hard work that you've done. Goodness knows it's not always easy, and I've seen just how dedicated you are to cover the issues and to bring our stories to a bigger audience. I mean, what I do is usually in a small space, very intimate space like this. When someone like Dorcas comes in with the power of the, you know, her team, the cameras, and you know, the photographers, the editors, those stories and that experience gets to live on, and people get to experience more of that. So those stories go further. So thank you so much to Dorcas.
You here. Can we get a big round of applause for Sisters Eye? Come on, guys, it's food. Come on. One more. Bigger. Right. Alright. We're going to do the cheesy thing that they do where they're like, on three, I want you to cheer as loud as you can. But I actually do want you to. So ready? 1, 2, 3. We'll come back to that. Okay, so up next, we have a lovely lawyer and an African-Australian community leader, Ekene Okolo, who's going to come up and share some thoughts with us. Oh, come on, guys, it's got to be fun. And
sorry, I might actually do without the mic. I think I can speak loud enough. I'd like to start by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land upon which we gather, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. I also recognise the strength, resilience and capacity of the Aboriginal people, and I pay my respect to their elders past and present. I'd also like to acknowledge the dignitaries in the room, the Honourable Inga Pulich. I don't see the Honourable Robin Scott here. The Honourable, Mimi Watts, VMC Commissioner, Tina Hussaini, the VMC Youth Commissioner. I don't think I've missed anyone. Now, when Dorcas invited me to say a few words about OzAfricanTV, I thought to myself, what is it that I can say that is meaningful? And, you know, I've watched some of her shows and I think it's a great show, great episodes. I thoroughly enjoy watching people that look like me and seeing how they enjoy their lives and how they just be normal. But to answer that question, I thought I'd do a bit of research. So I looked up what OzAfricanTV was about. And I found out that the vision of OzAfricanTV is to reflect our current society, which I assume refers to the African Australian community, given that they are the subject matter. And to paint a positive narrative. And the mission is to archive our stories and write our history in our own words. And what stood out for me in the vision and the mission of OzAfricanTV was the desire to reflect a positive narrative and to tell our own stories in our own words and on our own terms. Now, coincidentally, only last week, in fact last Saturday, the Incubate Foundation, of which I'm a part, held our annual youth conference, and the theme was changing the narrative. And we had 3 workshops at the conference. There was one about telling your own story, being a diverse voice in the media, and creating your own media platform. And there was no one better equipped to talk about creating your own media platform than Dorcas Utkovich, the founder and producer of OzAfricanTV. In thinking about the vision and mission of OzAfricanTV, I was reminded about what Chimamanda Adichie said in her TED talk about the danger of the single story. And if anyone hasn't watched that talk, I really encourage you to do so. I think it's had over 12 million views on TED. But in her TED talk, Chimamanda points out that the way you create a single story about people is to show people as one thing over and over again. And that is what they become. We have seen examples of this in how some members of the African Australian community have been portrayed by the media, especially in newspapers like the Herald Sun and the Daily Mail, or on TV with programs like A Current Affair. Now, Chimamanda also points out that it is power that determines who gets to tell our stories and when they are told. She explains that power is the ability not just to tell the story of another person or place, but the ability to make it the only story about that person or place. By portraying just negative stories about African Australians, the media ignores all of the wonderful and diverse stories that we only get to hear and see through platforms like OzAfricanTV. Another reason the single story is dangerous, according to Chimamanda, is that it creates stereotypes that take away a person or a community's dignity. Again, we've seen this happen within the African Australian community. She says stories matter, many stories matter, and the more diverse, the better. Stories are powerful and have been used to dispossess people. And I hate to use Australia as an example, but I will. As in the founding of Australia, when in 1788, James Cook declared that Australia was terra nullius, meaning uninhabited, despite the fact that there were 750,000 Aborigines living in Australia. And this story existed up until 1992, when the High Court finally overturned that decision. Stories can also be used to empower and humanize people and communities, and we've seen how this has been done in the Jewish community through their stories about the Holocaust and our understanding of what they went through. Some might ask, why do we need platforms like OzAfricanTV? We need people like Dorcas and platforms like OzAfricanTV because they are crucial in helping people change the narrative or stories that currently exist, especially about African Australians in the wider Australian community. It is through OzAfricanTV that we get to showcase who we really are in our own words and our own terms. Our young people also get to see people who are just like them and feel empowered. We get to hear the positive and inspiring stories of African Australians and the significant contribution that we are making within our local communities and Australia as a whole. I congratulate Dorcas. Where are you, Dorcas? Come forward. I congratulate Dorcas and all of those who have worked tirelessly behind the scenes of OzAfricanTV for creating an inspiring, vibrant, fashionable and light-hearted medium that creates a positive narrative about African Australians and enables the audience to enjoy the wonderful and diverse stories about being African in Australia. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Just a moment while we get the sound working. I just don't have as big a voice as Ike. I'm just an itty-bitty little thing, you know? I'm just a frail, tiny little bird. So, coming up next, I want to say thanks so much, Ike, for your beautiful words, and also Sister Zai for speaking earlier. And coming up next, we're going to have a little speech from Terry Shepherd, who is one of the directors, or the director of OzAfricanTV. And following Terry, we're going to have a little break. So, you know, if you're getting a bit restless, don't worry. If you're getting a bit cold, you can go for a run. But right now, I just want to welcome Terry up to the stage with a big cheer and a hurrah. Your round of applause.
Thank you all. I'm up here to say a lot of thank yous. Firstly, as everyone has quite rightly already said, I'd like to thank the Wurundjeri people who have been the custodians of this land for tens of thousands of years. And I'd like to ask, is anyone here from the Wurundjeri mob? Anyone? No one here Wurundjeri? Right. You've got to consider that every single person in this room is an immigrant or a descendant of an immigrant. We are all immigrants in this great country. On that note, it has been a pleasure and a privilege to be involved with the production of OzAfricanTV. I touched on a lot of bases that I was going to discuss here. Over the course of 2 seasons, we've been introduced to some amazing people and their amazing stories. We've had stories of courage, of overcoming adversity to make new lives in a strange land. We've had stories of art, music, culture, fashion, and wonderful community. These are important, positive stories that present a more balanced, truthful side to the migrant experience, rather than that represented in our mainstream media. When we meet wonderful people through a show like OzAfricanTV, we are not only entertained, we are also educated. It's an education that can make inroads into a social cohesion of our great society. It helps further the great Australian dream, because it doesn't matter where you are, where you come from, or who you're descended from, we all pretty much want the same things. We want to live in peace and watch our children grow up happy. Shows like OzAfricanTV can help make this simple but very important dream a reality. So thank you. Thank you to all our guests who took the time to come in to entertain and, importantly, educate us. Thank you to the wonderful and talented crew who have volunteered their time and equipment to make OzAfricanTV a professional-looking show on very limited resources. Special mentions to Gary and Jack, who've put impossible hours in to get it done in crazy deadlines. Thank you to Dean and Janelle for letting us use this amazing space to tell these wonderful stories. And of course, thanks to Dorcas Utkovich for having the vision and tireless energy required to see a project like this through. Thanks everyone. Thanks to the Wurundjeri. Thank you all.
Standing backstage behind the television, it's really beautiful. Not only just listening to everything everyone has to say, but just watching Dorcas's face. She's just like the love. Go on, show it to them. Come here. I'm not gonna embarrass this. People want to go for a break. Come on. But yeah, with his little face. So exciting. So exciting to share this with her. It's really amazing when one person can have an idea and a dream, and then everybody comes around them. We make a team. We put in the time and the effort and the passion, and we make this work. You know? It's what Beyonce does all the time. She's basically Beyonce. That's what's up. Okay, so we're going to have a quick little break. We're going to say a quick break because there's so much more to hear and so much more to share. But go over there and then come back over here. We're going to have a quick break, mingle, have a cupcake, go and take your photos in that photo booth. And remember, you know, you can then put them on Instagram and go in the prize to win the best dress. So if you think you're the best dressed, you better get in that photo line because I'll be first. I'm gonna get that handbook. So maybe DJ, could we have like a song or something so we can have a little break, and then when the music fades down, you know it's time to come back. And, no, it's break time.
Social investment, there's a lot of movement that's happening. Literally. Literally.
We're moving then for the end, say 2 months
Yeah. 2 months.
before we move.
Yeah, because you guys at the moment, or even then, but when you left, Kelly had moved into Mexico. Kelly is international.
Adopted.
Yeah, Kelly is international when it comes to and Peter is one that's which is quite good. He's one of those people who, if you are Monica, how are you? It's a pity that you're not coming to me. Maybe the next one.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, check.
How are you? Hey, you. Long time.
I
So you just went past.
You got the fun stuff and she goes to got your house.
Hey John, how are you going?
Everybody. Yeah, I know. How about you guys? You guys don't feel home. It's like, yeah, no. Well, apart from the mainstream community service,
We're bringing her in and showing
oh, then they just want to be playing music. John.
Friends of Dorcas? Are you somebody we work together. This is my son Jackie's Dorcas.
It feels good, and it actually is the main thing. Like, her achievement is phenomenal. I think being able to establish a footing in one of probably the hardest industries to establish an organization in more than anything, it's very hard. When was the last time somebody tried to establish a media organization? on the TV.
With very little financial.
So the only non-billionaire owner of a TV station.
Exchange
stool or something. So hard to see people. Yeah, it's good crowd. You do that sound,
Come and sit down and talk. No, I love your performance.
Thank you so much.
Hello. Now, I used to be a school teacher, and the worst time to take a class was after lunchtime on a Friday, and this is how it feels. So unless you pipe down, you're going to get detention. Yeah. I'd love to answer the question, but I was asked if I could hear it, so perhaps we can have a reprieve.
Oh, thank you. I was a school teacher as well, but I mainly just relied on bribing the children with money. That's why I really sort of avoid it. Not into crowd control. But my question was, if you had to describe yourself in 3 words, what would they be?
I'd probably say strong, hardworking, and though I am a politician, I would say integrity is very important to me.
Bravo, bravo. And high five to the both of us, because we totally just knocked that room down. Yes. Big round of applause. Thank you. Yes. All right, I'm going to get Dandy to bring over a microphone for you. And we're going to hear a little something from Inga. His last name is Kulish.
Howlich?
Howlich. I totally nailed that as well. And she is the Shadow Minister for Multicultural Affairs.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here we go, and I'm going to keep mine short. The earlier speeches had fairly short and fixed time frames. They went overboard, so I reckon I can make the savings. It's a great gathering of a lot of talented and enthusiastic people, and it's obviously quite a few new faces as well, but I would like to acknowledge Dorcas and her team, Mimi Watts, who does a great job on behalf of all multicultural communities, but in particular the African communities, on behalf of the Victorian Multicultural Affairs Commission, and so many other community leaders who make a huge contribution to the African communities and to everything that they're involved in. For those of you who don't know me, Inga Pavlich, I came here as a 10-year-old from Bosnia and Herzegovina with mum and dad. 2 suitcases, they spoke no English, they had no money except a bag full of dreams and aspirations. So for me, multicultural affairs is a very nice fit. I love the opportunity of celebrating the highs and lows of multicultural affairs, of people in our multicultural communities. I love to see them succeed. I love to hear about the sacrifices they've made and the challenges they've faced in order to overcome obstacles. But to be honest with you, there are also very moving times when, as a result of tragedy, you stand side by various communities. So I love to share the highs and the lows. And the wonderful thing about OzAfricanTV is that you can celebrate the achievements, but don't ever also forget the tragedies and the sad episodes and chapters of your life, because these are an inspiration to not just you, but also successive generations. You don't know the seed that you plant, when it will germinate and when it will grow. So the poet earlier spoke about how this is writing your history. But remember, you write your history as you live it. And some of you are now still writing that history. Your history will be an inspiration to others. And one little story that comes to mind as a school teacher, there was a girl that I taught who was 14 years of age, who came from a really difficult background. She was a great writer, and I wrote on one of her essays, you know, you really should think about journalism. I knew deep down that this was really not going to happen, not anytime soon. You're very talented, and you've got a gift. You should pursue it. But of course she didn't. She left school very soon after that. She had kids way before she got married. She got married afterwards. The marriage fell apart. The kids married and went off. She tracked me down on Facebook at the age of 48 to let me know that that little comment that I wrote on her essay had inspired her to pursue an education as an adult, and she wanted to let me know that she had just now, as a 48-year-old, graduated with a degree in journalism. Those are the stories that really do move me. So each and every one of us, and the stories and the trials and tribulations of my own grandparents, of my own mother, who my father was imprisoned by the government of the day. She had never worked. To feed her children, she had to steal. She would steal one egg, hide it in her bra, and come home and divide it between my brother and I. These are the stories of inspiration. So don't ever sanitize your history. Don't ever sanitize the hard times, because these are the times that can truly be powerful and force you and those who follow you to write a better history, a greater history, one that will inspire successive generations. So on behalf of the Liberal and National Coalition, could I say I'm delighted to be able to join you for this launch. I know how much talent there is in this community and how much you are yet to achieve. So congratulations, and I look forward to the showcase.
Teary in my eye just now, I'll be honest. Thank you so much, Inga. And coming up next, also from the Multicultural Department, we've got Tina Husseini. Where's Tina? Ah, there she's ready to go. Tina Husseini, who is the Multicultural Youth Commissioner. And take it away, Tina.
Thank you. Okay. Well, firstly, I'd like to congratulate everyone involved with the production of OzAfricanTV, and thank you all for the inspirational work that you're doing in creating this engaging and really relevant program. I'd like to also acknowledge Inga Powlich, the Shadow Minister for Multicultural Affairs, and my fellow Commissioner at the Victoria Multicultural Commission, Mimi Watts. So in my role as Youth Commissioner, I've had the privilege to get to know and work with young people from the African communities. There is so much passion and confidence and talent and drive that I see in these young people. I know how amazing they are, but it's really great to be able to see more of this being captured and shared with a wider Australian audience. OzAfricanTV is cutting edge in many ways. There is no other lifestyle show like this on our screens. The show focuses on people in our community of African heritage, highlighting their positive stories and achievements, and importantly, how they contribute to Australia's African community and our wider community. The passionate crew behind OzAfricanTV knew that something was missing from our Australian TV screens, and they found an opportunity to create new content never before seen in Australia. New content that would provide us insights into the lives of our African communities. And in doing so, trying to draw attention to some of the current issues and themes that are affecting our African communities and our young people. And it's really vital to engage with young people in these meaningful ways, engaging in ways where young people actually know that they're being heard and listened to, and in the process being able to inspire the community even more. And this platform is doing just this. With the talented Dorcas Yutkovic at the helm of this wonderful program, Australian audiences know they're getting quality entertainment and thought-provoking content each week. So far, my favourite episode has been the Africa's Got Talent episode. I loved that it was a nice way to showcase all the talent in a really mainstream way, but it was much better. We all know that television is such a powerful medium, and it can certainly help create positive social change. Our beloved small screen is embedded into our daily lives, and it should be reflective of who we are, and it should be reflective of our society. While we have quite a road to travel in terms of having the true sort of diversity that we see in Victoria and Australia reflected on our screens, this program demonstrates what can be achieved when bright minds come together to create something new and something relevant. And what I love is the way that you can actually see real stories and real people, and this is how people connect. When people truly understand themselves and others, that is when we get to this really nice stage of genuinely accepting and embracing one another. And while creating dialogue and conversations are really important to address some of these issues that we're facing as a first step, we must continue to work together and come up with some solutions to some of these issues that we're facing. And tonight, this is one really great practical example of how fantastically a community-driven and community-led solution can help overcome and has helped overcome and counteract some of the negativity that we see highlighted in mainstream media. And it really inspires me to see how hard the community has worked, how much everyone's actually come together, gotten closer, become even more active, which I thought was hard to believe given how active the community already is, to actually ensure that your voices, the real African voices, are being heard with or without the mainstream media platforms. You've pushed through and you've created a platform to showcase the African Australian narratives that we should all be focused on and that we should all be listening to. So tonight we toast to Australia's African communities and we honour your heritage and how important it is to connect with your cultures and our own cultures and with each other. This program really sets the bar high and is such an amazing example to other communities. So my warm congratulations to the team here for all you've achieved, and I wish you continued success as your show reaches more and more Australians. Thank you for welcoming me here tonight.
So coming up next, we have a short presentation including a video reel with some highlights from Rav Mukushi. That's right. I'm really good at names. Rav Mukushi. I literally just looked at it and said, I'm going to put my paper down because I'll remember that. I was wrong. Anyway, so coming to the mic now is Rav Mukushi, and she's going to be playing a short reel to show some highlights of OzAfricanTV, and then tell us a little bit about it. And while she's doing that and getting her mic from Sandy and making sure that's all good, we're going to give her a big round of applause, because that's what we do now. We know how to do it. That was terrible. Cut it. Just cut. We're going to try that one more time, because we did it before where I was like, 1, 2, 3, make as much noise as you can. So we're going to try it again. I'm going to, I'm going to pretend like this is all new. So I'm like, all right, everybody, I just want you to give it up for Rav.
Hi, good afternoon everybody. I'm sorry, yes, one more speech. I promise it's the last speech before we get a little more entertainment done. So I just wanted to say welcome and thank you so much for joining us this afternoon for the official launch of OzAfricanTV. So my name is Rav Mukushi and I'm the production manager for OzAfricanTV. And it is such an honor to be standing here in front of all of you today as I speak on behalf of the production team. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I came to be a part of this project. So I was very lucky that I got an interview with Dorcas, and I was actually introduced to her by one of our sponsors, Edam. She's the director of Badu Studios, and she told me, Rav, you need to meet Dorcas. So I get this interview with her, and I'm thinking, okay, I need to do some research. So I look her up, and I learned that her vision is to reflect our current society through a positive narrative. And her mission is to archive our stories and write our history in our own words. So when I read that, I knew, okay, this is where I belong. I want to be a part of this team. And I was so excited about meeting Dorcas. However, I was also a little bit skeptical because I was like, okay, everything I'm reading about OzAfricanTV, everything that I'm hearing about Dorcas, it seems a little too good to be true. And I was like, okay, all right, let's just do this interview. So we met at a cafe, and there sat in front of me this gorgeous African woman. And every word that came out of her mouth was genuine and it was engaging. And I felt that, we connected spiritually and emotionally. Again, I was told, do not cry, do not make Dorcas cry, so no tears. But it was a genuine connection, and I felt like, oh my God, I found my sister. But not only that, I knew that as she talked about OzAfricanTV and her vision and her dream, I had found my home. And that's what it's like working with Dorcas. It feels like we're a part of her family and we're at home. When Dorcas and I plan our production meetings, we sit there and she's like, okay, where are we going to have the meeting? What time is it going to happen? And every time we have that conversation, she encourages me to bring my son along with me, my son Alex. And she's like, bring him to the meeting, Raph. You do not have to worry about a babysitter. Bring your son along with you. And so there we are, sitting at a dining room table, and my kids get to play with her kids. There they are, running amok in the background, and we plan every episode, and we get it done. Now, for all the mothers in the room, all the working mothers, all the single mothers like myself, you can appreciate how important that is to be a part of an organization where you're encouraged to include your family, where you're told that the pursuit of your dreams does not mean that you have to neglect your children. And that's what Dorcas has done. She has successfully created an organization culture that is warm, that is spiritually positive, and it's encouraging. Now we'll move away from the emotional stuff. When Dorcas is planning every episode, she carefully selects who she's going to interview. She takes so much care in making sure that when she conducts her research, it's very thorough. And the reason she does this is because she wants to ensure that you all get an opportunity to tell your story with a positive narrative. That's what we're all about, making sure that your story gets heard, but you get to take control of what the narrative is of that story. Now, so much work goes into producing each episode, and none of it would be possible without the crew, without Terry, our amazing director, and the camera crew that work with him. Oh, they do such an amazing job. But I also want to make special mention of our interns who turn up every time with so much enthusiasm. This is their full-time job. And I have to mention that everybody, Dorcas, myself, the crew, the interns, the stylists, the makeup artists, they're all volunteering their time. They're all doing this out of the kindness of their hearts, and they believe that this is where they want to be. So they're all donating their time. Nobody gets paid. So that is so important, because when I look at them, and I look at the interns especially, they have so much enthusiasm, and these are young kids, and they're brilliant, and they're intelligent, and I'm so inspired when I watch them, and I'm like, when I was 19, I wasn't thinking about volunteering my time and getting an internship. I was, out partying Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But these guys turn up. I email them, can you get this done? They show up. They're so committed. And so this show would not be what it is without the help of our interns and the crew and the makeup artists and the stylists. Now, one of Dorcas's favorite quotes, and now it's one of my favorite quotes, is the saying that the sky is big enough for all the birds of the air to fit. Now, to Dorcas, what I think this means to her is when we all come together, we can encourage each other, we can work together, and we can give each other opportunities. And when I think of that proverb, I think that's exactly who Dorcas is. When she hears of an opportunity that can benefit somebody else, she picks up the phone and she'll call you and she'll let you know. Rav, come to incubate. Rav, you need to meet so-and-so. Rav, you need to do this. And it's not just for me, she does it for everybody. She is so open, and she believes that we all can fly. We can all fly together. And I think that's a spirit for the African community that we need to start encouraging. Let's promote each other, let's give each other opportunities. The sky is big enough, we can all fit. and gentlemen, I've been told that I need to start wrapping it up. But before I do, I'm going to ask Dorcas and Dean to get a little bit closer to me. And I just wanted to say, when we decided that we were going to plan this launch party, there was no doubt in our minds that this was the venue that we were going to pick. You see, this is PolePole and this is our home. This is where we film all of our episodes. The show would not be what it is if it wasn't for this colourful, beautiful set that we get to use. Now, Dean and Janelle open their doors to us every Sunday that we need it, and they do not ask us for anything. They give us full access of the venue, and we get to use this place all day long. So we just want to say to the owners of PolePole, Dean and Janelle, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Can I just say very quickly that we are just so proud of these guys. We are so inspired. When you approached us, we just felt like we were the lucky ones. So thank you so much. We just think you're all doing such an amazing job. We are happy to be such a tiny, tiny part of it. So thank you.
Okay, and I really need to wrap it up, but I just wanted to say that I cannot express to you how much of a privilege it is to be able to work with Dorcas. She's an African woman who had a dream. She saw an opportunity, she grabbed it, and she literally hit the ground running. And to conclude, I'd like to thank you once again for all of your support. Every time we ask for anything, every time we reach out for help, people are always so keen and so interested. Everybody volunteers. Most of what you see today, the gifts, the setup, the crew, everything, everybody's volunteering it. They're just so happy to help. And I believe for Dorcas, that's a sign that she is in the right place. She is fulfilling her destiny. She is where she is meant to be. And that's what happens, right? When you're in the right place, everything falls together. It all happens. And we are so grateful that you've created this platform for us. And now all of our voices get to be heard. And you can tell all of your stories. So if you're interested in any way, you want to come and tell us your story, you want to be interviewed, please feel free to reach out to Dorcas and myself. If you want to chip in, if you're some way involved in the media industry, please reach out to us. Like we said, the sky is big enough. We can all fit. So reach out. We'll find something for you. Now, I just want to say to conclude, this is the final one, the last one.
I'm real subtle with it though. I'm real subtle.
There she is again. I just want to say, I want to conclude with one of Dorcas, another one of Dorcas's favorite quotes, which is, "Let it be known that we are African and we are here right now, contributing to the world down under." Yeah. This is an invitation, guys. Let's be heard. So now's the time for the presentation. No more speeches, no more speeches. So now we're going to do the presentation, and this is just a snippet of what happens behind the scenes and on set. We couldn't capture everyone because that would have gone for hours, but we just want to give you a bit of a taste of what we're up to and what this show is all about. So please enjoy our presentation. Dorcas, we love you.
It'll just be 1 second. While we're waiting for that to load, I would just like to say, remember, just a quick reminder that we do have a best dress competition going on today. I'm in the lead, but that's fine. Everyone's encouraged to enter. Make sure you grab some snaps of yourself in the photo booth, or get somebody to whip out their smartphone. Hashtag OzAfricanTV. Hashtag a new perspective. We're losing the crowd, guys. We're losing the crowd. I repeat, the crowd is turning. There's chattering. There's murmurs. Think that we need you back. We've lost the crowd. She's gone. There you go. Oh, great. Help. Help. So we need to get them back. They've gone amok. They've run amok. Say something teachery.
If you don't be quiet, you won't get an award.
That's good. That was very teachery, and I second it. She's gone now, so I'm on my own. That's fine. You know, it's okay though. I want to ask a question of the audience. And this question is worth $200. So only the people who are paying attention are going to be able to even have a chance to win $200. Wow, the room quiet down real quick. $200. I'll be there. Okay, well, it's a bit of a riddle. So I'm going to say the first part of it, and I'm going to see if you guys can guess the second part. And if you can guess the second part, I will give you $200 on the spot. All right. So the first part of the riddle is: the girl in France sat down at a table. She had 2 napkins and 1 cup. Who was sitting opposite her? We have 3 guesses. Hands up. Who wants to give it a go? It's too late. I've already forgotten. Wants to give it a go? No? No one? Alright, guys. I'm out of material, so if we just make the video play. How about maybe we'll leave the video for now, because it seems we have some technical issues, and instead we're welcome to the stage.
Your run sheet had senior lawyer from one of the biggest firms in the country, followed by politician, followed by politician, followed by a community advocate, then rapper. That's where I come in. You understand the predicament I'm in? It's kind of awkward, isn't it? And the moment I saw that, the first thing that came to my mind was what my mom always used to say to me, Simba, if you want to be a great man, you must go to school and get an education. Just my luck, I did listen to her because you know what? I'm a lawyer by day, rapper by night. People like, that's confusing. Why are you wearing suits and flat kicks? I'm kung fu. I sue people for money. You should call that pursuing. My mentor sat me down and asked me what I'm pursuing. Is it the money, the power, the fame? Tell me what you're trying to do, kid. I said, I just want to rap. Call me Nike, because I just do it. Now, it's awesome what you do because, like we said before, you give us an opportunity not just to change the narrative, but to inform it and to tell our stories in our own words. And it's cool because someone like me can tell my story and let them know that I am the product of blood and sweat of many African immigrants displaced from the place of their birth in pursuit of the next impediment, hoping it would sharpen my intelligence so my actions alone speak louder than my eloquence. So hence, I left the dark continent, not even an adolescent. I left my mama, my brothers, my relatives, and my friends for a shot at it, a sacrificial habit. I was determined to get it, synonymous to an addict, without the wine-ass effect, because I had to stay conscious. I figured I'll enroll at university for options. They are preconditions, but I was preconditioned. And they are predictions, but I was prepositioned. So I studied law with a bit of psychology. 2010 I graduated, double degree. I stayed in church though. Why? Because it kept me grounded. A lot of my friends around me lost focus, some got deported. So thank you, Pastor Patrick. Thank you, Pastor Joyce. Pastor Kim, Aunt Jay, big up to Pastor Wayne. Because y'all kept me sane. No Saddam Hussein. You kept my ego in check. No Gaddafi, man. You guys ready to party or what? But you gotta be upstanding for this though. Because this is a party, so I know you look pretty. DJ, let's go. Okay. Now I wanna see everybody groove, do your own dance, have some fun with it, alright? They don't do it like they used to. Yeah, they don't do it like they used to. Everybody else, move to the left, move to the right, move to the left, move to the right, move to the left, move to the right. Yeah. I'm ready. They don't do it like they used to. I'll stimulate you. Give me something fresh, new, straight out of the cradle. Simple to the mat. OzAfricanTV. You know how we do when we come through. Hot beats, man, flow, played up a schedule. Fix out the wax that you hearing on the radio. Let them know Silver Mac, C to the EO. Chief Superintendent Commando, we salute you. And each regiment is ready with the armor. Camouflage on the turn on the side of Osama. Fight for the Democratic vote like Obama. Start a revolution like I'm Dr. Martin Luther. Hijack the industry like some carjackers. Walk competition, man, hey, they don't matter. Understand? One good master. Can't school the lecturer in your first semester. Hands up, everybody, hands up. Put your hands up, put your hands up, put your hands up, put your hands up. Hey, up. Everybody say OzAfrica. OzAfrica. Hey. OzAfrica. Hey. TV. OzAfrica. TV. OzAfrica. TV. OzAfrica. TV. Make some noise, good people. Make some noise. Now that was just warm up. Because all you black people acting white right now. No. Listen. No, hold on. This is my wife. See, you guys jump to conclusions. I might have to change your narrative. Yeah, this is wifey. So wifey's got rhythm. Oh, you black people thought you guys had rhythm? No, it's the other way around. So I want everybody to get down. So we're gonna have a little hype track. We're gonna just warm up a little bit and get down a little bit. Is that okay with everybody? DJ, drop it, drop it, drop it. Everybody, hey, move with me, move with me, move with me, hey, move. You look good, you look good, you look good, you look good. Hey, 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 woo! Hey, 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 hey. Go Doggers, go Doggers, go Doggers. Hey, hey, woo! Hey, 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 say. I knew you guys could do stuff. I knew it. I knew it. Now, I'm certified black, got that chocolate complexion. Small frame, slim build, my mama says I'm handsome. Before the suit and tie, working 9 to 5, sending money home like I was grown, I was just Simba, yo. A product of the 80s, influenced by the 90s. A good thing black don't crack, cause I ain't aged slightly. I'm gonna be here for years, get used to seeing me in HD. I'm talking high distinction like university grades. Speaking of high distinction, I'm university grade. Your boy's educated, cut from a different cloth. Some people may debate it, but that's just hater talk. Degrees by the double, I praise on the double. Cute face, preach peace, and still cause trouble. They trying to box me in, so I rumble in the jungle. It's Simba Mac and OzAfrica on that TV hustle. We're just gonna finish this off on a super, super duper high note.